Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation review. Today I'm taking a look at Game Builder Tycoon for the PlayStation 5. Now this was initially released, I think in May this year, and it's a game I had my eye on indeed, certainly when it was first released, but I didn't pick it up at the time because I just had too much on my plate. However, this is, I believe, this is in like a sale right now in the PlayStation Store, and it's very, very cheap indeed. So I ended up picking it up very, very recently. And I have now put quite a few hours into this one, and I can give you my thoughts on this. Well, for those of you out there that have ever wanted to basically be your own game developer, build your own games from scratch, and try and rule the gaming industry, well, this probably is a game that's going to interest you, especially for the price point that it's at. So essentially, you start off as a lone game developer in your bedroom, basically. um, you start off, you've got about a very small budget, about 50 grand, something like that. And you've got to kind of start building your gaming empire. So the first thing you need to do is to create your game, sort of thing. So the first thing you've got to do is create your first game. Now, initially, you've only got the option of creating a game for PC. You've only got a few different themes, that kind of stuff, genres to pick from, so you can kind of choose like simulation game, city builder, shooter, fighting game, that kind of stuff. Now, they won't all necessarily be unlocked at the beginning, but they are all unlockable. I mean, there's a huge amount of unlockable genres and themes, to be perfectly honest. So you choose, like, if you want a city builder, then you choose whether you want it, what kind of city builder do you want? Do you want it set in the current times, medieval, fantasy space? Up to you completely. And then you've got to kind of decide what else you want to kind of do. You know, what you want to dedicate into the visuals, like the art design, the AI, the UI, the music, the voiceover, all that kind of stuff. So you kind of put resources into each of these, and you've got to decide what kind of marketing campaign you're going to give the game early on. It's just word of mouth that you've got to go on because you're a very small developer. And then you kind of release your game, and it gets scored. You can buy the full report that'll give you the full diagnostics of how the game has done, how it was received, where you got it right, where you got it wrong. And then you kind of release it to the public. They will rate it, they will score it, and then it will either do what it does in regards to bringing the finances in. Now, as you could imagine, early on in this game, there is not a great deal of profits to be made for you in regards to money you're making from your game. So you've just got to kind of keep plugging away. So as you earn money, there's other things that you need to do as well. You need to research things like different themes, different genres, different platforms like consoles, handhelds, even mobile games, how big you want the game to be, the viewpoint of the game. Do you want it to be first person, third person, top down, isometric? You've got all these to kind of choose from, but you've got to research them all, and they all cost money. So after each game release, you kind of need to do a little bit of research, but you also need to kind of level up yourself, your own character, your development skills, your writing skills, your art skills, all this kind of stuff. There's loads of different things that you need to level up in your own character. The better you are, the better the game's going to be. So you keep doing this until you get to a certain amount of money that you've made from your games, and then you can buy a bigger office. Once you buy a bigger office, you can then employ another employee, another game developer. And then it's two of you sharing the load. The other person you employ might be better at certain things than you. so that when you're creating your game, you can allocate your employees to do certain aspects of the game that they're better at than you, which is going to make a better game. So you keep doing this really. It's quite an addictive gameplay loop. You know, you create a game, you release it out into the world, hopefully it does quite well. You can even earn more money by making it a multiplayer game or an MMO. Add DLC, that kind of stuff into the game. You can even do it free to play and then add all these paid for stuff within the game to see if that earns money, sort of thing. So as your money goes up, you keep expanding your office and you keep researching and keep employing new staff till it gets to the point where you really are ruling like the gaming world, you know. Whereas at the beginning of the game, your first couple of games might make you 20-30 grand, if that. And then once it's quite a buzz really when you release a game and your first game like makes over $1 million, and you're like, wow, that's incredible. So I think you start getting a bit excited about that. And then occasionally you'll get like offers from publishers and that kind of stuff, or someone will come on board on the project and give you an extra hand, which will boost the sales, but they might want like 40% of the initial sales of the game, that kind of stuff. But it boosts the popularity of the game. So as you keep making more and more money, it's more of a buzz. You can even as well, which I think is really cool aspect of the game, you can look at the games that you've already released, and you can make direct sequels to them. So you look at the chart, it tells you which games released, when they were released, how successful they were, all that kind of stuff. And it gives you the option to make a sequel if you want to. So all the games that you've released, you can make sequels to. And I really like that aspect. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, well, this game I released 3 years ago, it was a big success. I think it's time now to make a sequel of it. And it can be a real buzz to do that sort of thing. It's a really addictive gameplay loop. Now, the big issue I think with this game is once you kind of get to the point where you've unlocked all the officers, you've staffed the whole company with everybody that you can staff it with, and your games really start making millions, and I mean millions, then at that point it kind of starts losing its appeal in a sense, because there's very few places to go. Then you've pretty much unlocked everything, you've researched everything, you can make any game you want, and most of them will be reasonably successful. Some of them will be absolute smash hits. The only thing to aim for then is like there's a ranking system that allows you to see which is the most popular, game developer out there. Obviously at the beginning you write down the list, like thousands down the list, and by the end of the gameplay through this, you're obviously going to be near the top. So I think for the price of this game, I think it's a really clever idea for us gamers out there. It's really fun if you've ever wanted to make your own games to see how they do. You could do far worse than this, especially for the price that it's on sale at. So I'm going to give it a very solid 7 out of 10. Definitely worth a try if you like your management sims and you like the look of this game. I would definitely suggest giving this one a go. It's quite a lot of fun to play. It's very relaxing to play. There's no issues at all in regards to crashing or anything like that. It runs very smoothly. It's a very simple game, but that's sometimes to a game's advantage in my opinion. So yeah, I would definitely suggest checking this one out. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I definitely hope you found it useful.